Well, hello, everybody out there. Happy Friday. And I have a special treat today. You usually get to listen to me jabber on about things, but I have a very good friend of mine here to talk about something that I think will interest most of you and hopefully get you to understand why I love the United Way so much and some of the programs that we do. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Kelly Hostetler, the executive director of the St. Joseph County United Way. Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you. TGIF.
Yeah, it was a day. It started out a little rough. My alarm wasn't set, so it's not that it didn't go off. I just didn't set it. So got everybody to school on time, though, so that was cool. Kelly, my viewers are very kind, giving people. That's why I like them, and I hope that's why they like me. But I talk about United Way every once in a while, and I think that people don't really understand what the United Way is or what you do. So, could you give us a brief overview of the St. Joseph County United Way and who you help and how you do it?
Sure. Well, to some, brief is just a few seconds, but I'm so passionate about United Way and I love what I do that I could go on and on about it. So, Debbie, please cut me off if I go too long.
No,
United Way,
I'll let you go.
no, never. The United Way is different in every community. So, if you're in St. Joseph County watching this, you'll understand when I talk about some of the programs we fund. But if you're watching from California, then there's going to be different programs out in California that they fund than they fund in St. Joseph County. Meaning each United Way has a governing board of directors, and they get to choose who that United Way funds. In our community, we want to be very local. We give money to the domestic and sexual abuse shelter, which I know Debbie's talked about a couple of times on her podcast here. We give money to every single recreation program in the county, whether it's Burr Oak Recreation or Sturgis Parks and Rec or Three Rivers Recreation. We give money to Salvation Army and American Red Cross and the Children's Concerns. And one agency that I'm really passionate about is Children's Trauma Assessment Group. You know, there are so many children in our community who have seen or heard things that they shouldn't have at a young age. Maybe they've been taken away from their parents. Maybe they've lost a parent. They've gone through a traumatic time in their life. And the Children's Trauma Assessment Group does a fabulous job working with those kids and getting them the services they need to get past that trauma that they've seen or heard.
Kelly, what are the requirements of a group to be considered for getting some of the donations that United Way collects?
Two requirements from our United Way. You have to have a 501c3 status. That's a tax exempt status that's issued from the federal government. And then you have to have a license to solicit from the state of Michigan. So the two requirements that you need in order to receive any funding from the United Way. So how do we give the money away? We have to raise it first. So we have to raise money every year to try to fund 40 local agencies that my board of directors has chosen for us to fund.
And tell us a little bit about what we know as Allocation Day.
Oh, it's a big day. It is. I always talk about Allocation Day as it is one of the best days of the year, but it's also one of the hardest days for me because from February 1st until January 31st, every single year, I work very, very hard along with a team of professionals to raise the money that we can allocate, that we can give away. So that one day every year, we have all 40 of our agencies come in. They get 15 minutes to make their appeal to tell us why they need the money, what they did with the money we gave them last year, and what they plan on doing with the money if we give them any this year. So they have a very short time span to make an appeal for funding.
And you raised how much last year?
Oh, Debbie, it's crazy. We raised $1.2 million last year. This is our 4th year in a row that we've exceeded $1 million. And it's incredible. It is incredible.
And it's no easy feat to raise over $1 million in a county that is small like us, right? And we do get donations from outside of county too. A lot of people that have been touched by things that happen in our county, or people that are from here and choose to give back. So one of the ways that you raise money is the Radio-a-thon. And I
Right.
want you to tell all of my people what it is and what we're going to do.
So WBET 99.3 FM is our local radio station. They literally give us their studio for the day and night on May 26th. So from 6 a.m. on May 26th until midnight, we get to choose the DJs, we get to find the sponsors, we look for advertisers, we look for donations like gift certificates. If you call in right now, we're going to give you a gift certificate for $10 to Curly's over in Colon. Whatever business has donated the item. We have hanging flower baskets. If you call in right now and make a $15 donation, we will give you a $15 basket of flowers.
Now, it's not just that, right? We have had where the listeners request that the celebrity DJ sing a song or do, what did Bethan, like an athletic move? I should know this. A burpee. There we go. Burpees. If Bethan did a certain number of burpees, somebody would donate a certain number of dollars. So, how crazy do the DJs get? And how crazy do you get at the end of that long day?
It gets pretty crazy. We've had push-up contests. We've had burpee contests. We've had fight song contests. I can't tell you the number of times I've heard the U of M fight song. We've heard a lot of different things throughout. I saw a graduation diploma handed over last year by somebody who said he didn't get his athletic gear turned in on time 20 years ago, so he didn't get his diploma. So the superintendent of Sturgis Schools, and he had it in a lateral file from 20 years ago. He pulled it out and we presented this businessman his diploma from Sturgis High School. Crazy.
I want to say I saw somebody who is well over the age of doing flips in a bouncy house, do a flip in the bouncy house. And I won't call him out on here. He knows who he is. But how many people do you see come through the studio? How many celebrity DJs do you have?
So we have every hour we change the celebrity DJ duo. So we usually have a minimum of 2 people in the studio at a time as celebrity DJs. During their hour of power, they have to raise as much money as they can in order to receive, and whoever raises the most money receives a pewter microphone. And I should have brought one with me, but
I have yet to win the pewter microphone, so I don't even have one that I can share to show.
You were an honorary chair when we raised over $1 million.
That's true. So, I mean, I do have that. My family, just before COVID, the year before COVID, we were the honorary chairs. And I was flipping through the pictures trying to find like somewhere it's like just you and I. And I came across our family photos with you, and they were just so stinking cute. And so I, was thinking, these are fun, and my husband's trying to call in right now. It's like he senses that we're on here. He's not even in the state right now. But anyway, we just had so much fun doing that and taking the kids to the United Way events, including the Radioathon. I think that's one of the coolest ones that my kids really enjoy. I don't know if it's just because they take that ice cream machine and put it in the back room, which seems very, very scary that the radio station lets us have this ice cream machine and sprinkles when there's all of this equipment back there, but they're very trusting. Yeah. So, and definitely, thank you. SAPC Upgrades just posted the stream so that people can click on that and you can listen to WBET anytime, but especially we would love you to log in then and listen to it. I've also listened to it on TuneIn Radio, the free app that you can use for that. And specifically, Kelly, maybe this is like shameless promotion, but You have some DJs that are coming on the 4 o'clock hour, right? That are pretty special.
So from 4 to 5, here's your chance to help Debbie. She needs your help.
I
If
do. I have been sorely lacking in raising the funds over the years. Like I get blown out of the water every year.
do. We raise in 18 hours, we raise $130,000, which is incredible. It is our largest event. We are a small United Way. So in St. Joseph County, we have a population of 62,000 people. Our neighboring county has a population of 50,000. We raise $1.2 million. There's just a huge comparison. Is every community is different, and it's just incredible to see the amount of support, and it's very humbling to see the amount of support we receive from our community.
It
Anyway,
is.
go ahead.
Yeah, so my boss, Dave Marvin, and I are so excited to come back again this year. And last year, I did have some of the people that had been watching court proceedings, and they would call in, and some just super wonderful people. I think Martha and Julie, like they called in and gave money. It's just so sweet because a lot of the people that watch the court proceedings that are going on in St. Joseph County really get tied into and invested in the people that they see. And some of the things that you guys provide funds for directly impact our court system. Can you talk about some of the programs that are just really specific to helping the people that that my viewers see when they're watching the court proceedings?
Absolutely. When I was talking about the Children's Trauma Assessment Group, CTAG, this group of people will interview children. Debbie, I don't know how much I can say, but I'm going to try to do this as politically correct as I can.
Sure.
We interview children and say for criminal sexual misconduct, if a child has been touched inappropriately, and the perpetrator could walk in the room as young as 3 months old, this baby can let us know just by pulling in to who's ever the caretaker that perpetrator has hurt her or him. A child who comes in for an assessment might not be able to tell us what happened, but we have a dollhouse, a big gigantic dollhouse that they can point to the rooms or the furniture or a device that might have been used on them. And we are videotaping that interview. We are videotaping that interview, and it is allowed in the court of law to prosecute that perpetrator. Did I do that right, Debbie?
Yes, you did a really good job. So one of the things too that is one of the reasons why the Children Trauma Assessment Group was so important to have in St. Joseph County is because there really aren't many available to us in the state of Michigan. So we were running into, and this is prior to me being a prosecutor, because I really don't talk a ton about prosecutorial cases on here, right? But when I did more abuse neglect cases, that sort of thing, these kids, you pull them out of a traumatic situation, right? There's maybe a removal or a police report is filed, an investigation is started. But if you don't have the proper people and proper place to do the forensic interview of them, these kids were waiting months before they were able to get into a trauma assessment center, the one that was modeled after the Children's Trauma Assessment Center in Kalamazoo. They were just so full. There's unfortunately so many kids for various reasons that are needing to get in there for their forensic interviews or just a trauma assessment that by the time they get to the kids, it's almost, I wouldn't say it's too late. It's never too late to help a child, but it certainly wasn't a good service to provide for the kids. You know, you want to get those interventions started sooner rather than later so that the healing can start sooner rather than later.
And we have adults who are walking around now because we didn't have this service available 20, 30 years ago. We have adults that are walking around that went through a traumatic time in their life and they never received the services that we have today. And they're making decisions now as 40 or 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds that affect their family, their loved ones, their children, their parents, and their decisions that they make today are because of the trauma they went through and they didn't get help. We have help available now. We have a trauma assessment center, and that is particularly used in the court of law against perpetrators who have hurt our children.
And one of the other groups that comes to mind is Dacis. Can you tell people a little bit about what that program is?
Yep, Domestic and Sexual Abuse Services is an organization in our county that works with people who have experienced domestic violence in their life. Maybe their husband or wife beat them. Maybe they beat them in front of the children. And there's a whole list of things that go along with that. We do have a women's shelter in our county for battered women, so they can go there for safety. And there's nobody knows where that shelter is. That is a protected area. That is someplace that's not advertised so that no one can find them, and they are safe there.
And Kelly, for anybody out there listening in our county or otherwise, how do they find these programs, these services? How do they get that help that they need?
There is a service called 211. 211 is a phone call. It's free, just like calling 911, only it's 211. It's a health and human service phone number that if you need help, the technicians who are on standby, it's a 24-hour service. You call them, they will say, you don't have electricity? Okay, are there children in the home? And do they have food? Is it cold? Do you have heat? They will walk them through the whole gamut of services that are available so that we make sure that we take care of everybody in the home. Is there a senior in the home? Do they need oxygen? Do they do anything, is there any other services you need? So 211 is a great service. It is free from any landline or cell phone, no matter what community you're in. It is nationwide. And you can call 211 and find out services in your own county.
I find that people are more apt to use that service because it's almost less traumatizing to them than walking into the Department of Health and Human Services office or trying to go to some sort of an agency themselves. It's almost like you can test the waters a little. You put your toe in by calling, and then the people there are so kind and so helpful that they can just draw you in. So it's like getting in the pool. Start with your dipping your toe in, and by the time you're done, you'll be swimming laps, and they're helping you. So with that, another one of your babies, I guess I'll say. I mean, you have so many projects that are just so near and dear to you. We could take hours going over all of them, but I know. So suicide prevention. This is one where my life has been unfortunately touched by that type of situation, which is not ideal by any means. And I know that you have done amazing things in trying to stop this epidemic of suicides, especially in a small community where everybody knows everybody. It's like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, only worse, because it's like, oh, that's my sister's friend, that's my cousin's best friend, whatever it is. So tell us about the suicide prevention program.
Well, first, I want to say I'm super sorry for your loss you had several years ago. Your husband was in a meeting at United Way when he received a very frightening phone call from you. And I could hear you on the other end of the line. And it wasn't a quiet phone call, but he got up and he left immediately. And it wasn't till later that he confided in me. So I'm super sorry for that day you had. But suicide prevention, back in 2018, there was an epidemic in our county. I like to call it a copycat kind of thing. In Debbie's case, it was not, but we had an epidemic of suicides in our high schools. And I went to a funeral in December for a young man that I had never met. Who was a senior at one of our local high schools. And as I went through this receiving line, this grandmother looked me square in the eye and held my hands and said, Kelly, do something about this. United Way needs to do something about this. It has to stop. I left that day and I had so many mixed feelings. I didn't know how to process them. I sat at my desk and I just looked out the windows of my office and I just started writing a dear editor letter. I thought I got to get this out of me. And I challenged the community to help. At the same time, Kevin Kane, who's in our probate court, he was also at that funeral and I hadn't met him yet. And now today we're great friends, and he was in my office today for a meeting for suicide prevention. So we have put together, we did a couple conferences. We are now putting together a marketing campaign where, Debbie, you're going to see some really cool advertising on, not advertising, but we're paying for some ads on News Channel 3 with Sinclair Broadcasting. We're doing a lot of radio ads. We're just going to get into the community and we're going to tell people their value. Your friend did not know his value and how much he was needed, not just by his family, but by his friends, and how much that would devastate everybody. So it's just, suicide prevention is something that I am passionate about because of that phone call I heard Ted take that day. And I have vowed to try to make a difference and try to make sure people know we need these kids. Who's going to run the next United Way? Who's going to be the next assistant prosecuting attorney? You know, we need these kids and we need them to know their value.
And I think that really is the theme that we have with the United Way and reaching out, is connecting with these kids, especially I would say your upper elementary, young high school, because it's such a difficult time. They have all of the hormones and the changes that are going on and the self-esteem issues. And if you add into that socioeconomic stress and hunger stress of food insecurity, United Way has been amazing at equalizing the population here. I mean, with every food drive where it's normalized to say it's okay to get help, it's okay to accept some help from someone. And that's one of the things that during the pandemic, especially, oops, I don't think I'm supposed to say that word, they like demonetize you or something, but during the situation where people were not having enough food, there wasn't the income coming in that they needed, you really stuck your neck out there and went out and found resources, set up food drives. And I mean, the things that you do for our community are just immeasurable. And I mean, I thank you for that. Obviously, I've thanked you many a times. So here's like a international platform to thank you for everything that you do and for putting up with my husband, on the board for so long.
Yeah, we, when that stay-at-home order went into effect, my staff did just that. They stayed home. And I'm in my office and the phones are ringing from people who never expected to call the United Way for help. People were calling saying, we're not allowed to go to Myers or Walmart to get our groceries or Kroger. What are we supposed to do? Where are we supposed to go? So yeah, I set up my first food distribution. I had never done one. And I ordered 400 boxes of food from food bank about an hour from here. They only sent 200. I had 600 people show up in line. We had so many cars in line. It was backed up beyond Schimmel Road, Debbie, where people thought there was a concert at the fairgrounds during the pandemic because there were so many cars in line. And I had to turn people away. And I just went live on Facebook right at that moment. And I said, this is what we're dealing with out here. I had to show the community. I had to get our word out that this was what's happening. These seniors are pulling away from here without any food. What are we going to do? Come on, you guys, we got to pull together and make this happen. So it did, and it worked out. And now we're past it. Thank goodness. And
we made it. Our county really made it. And it's no small feat to try to get that many people to help during a time when everybody's kind of worrying about what they're going to do and how they're going to make it. But yet we still had hundreds of people donating, giving their time, giving their energy, giving their money, giving, if they had nothing else to give, they would give their time. And that is really a testament to how much our community cares about each other and about the United Way.
Absolutely. It says a lot when people respond the way they did the past 2 years. If they couldn't help in person, they found a way to help. And it's just, it really chokes me up.
It does. I mean, and it's something where you care so much about something that you invest so much of your life into it. And if I could tell people how many hours a week you work, they probably wouldn't believe it, but it's true. And you're never off duty. I don't think I've ever texted you with the need for somebody that you have not responded to immediately. So
Well, you've been there for quite a bit too, Debbie.
Well, I mean, it's a reciprocal thing, right? Like, you can call me at any time. I'm a night owl. So, so going back to your biggest fundraisers, right? So what does the United Way have? So we have the Radioathon. We talked about that. Is there a silent auction going on with the Radioathon too this year?
Yep. So we're going to have a Radioathon or a silent auction. You will find a hand bid link on our Facebook page as well as on our website. You can
that link goes up like when?
We turn it on the week before the silent auction. So you'll have a chance to bid all week long on items. There's a lot of great items on the silent auction this year, and you'll just want to check it out and see. The best thing about this app that we use for our silent auction is when you get outbid, you get a notification that says, uh-oh. So you might be sitting at dinner and your cell phone's across the room and all of a sudden,
what's going on? Yes.
And you got outbid.
And you can set, I feel like you can set a max bid too, right? So you can put in there and it'll just keep upping it for you until you hit your max.
Right. Yep. And then the silent auction ends at 11:30 on the night of the Radioathon. So May 26th at 11:30 p.m. the silent auction.
Eastern time, because I do have people in different time zones that are watching this. So don't be like calling Kelly and trying to say that we're sneaking something in on you. No, it's all Michigan time, Eastern Standard, well, daylight savings now. But some people are asking about the links, and yes, I will definitely, once the links are up, I'll come back and edit like the description of this video so that you can click on the links, the bidding link, the link for WBET, so you can listen. Again, you can listen from anywhere. My niece and nephew out in Colorado, I always try to do a little shout out to them on the radio station. We definitely are shameless. We will take a donation to give a shout out to pretty much anybody. I mean, obviously there are FCC rules and whatnot, so we try to follow those pretty strictly so that we don't get booted out. But definitely, we are happy to give shout outs. I don't sing very well on the radio like that, but Dave likes to sing. I feel like he sang Elvis last year. It was pretty popular.
Yeah.
So a couple of things. So I've had a few donations come in during this. So Keltos, thank you. And Pets for Lil Mikey. Kelly, you haven't met Lil Mikey yet, and I'm thinking it's about time for you to come see him because he is the cutest little goat. And I mean, maybe he could make an appearance at the Radioathon. I mean, I saw chickens outside the one year. Remember the neighbor to the radio station? Their chickens kept running over into the yard, and Mike Stiles from the radio station was very out of his mind about these chickens, but I liked them. I thought they were fun.
Yeah, we have some really great DJs who work very hard, and literally all they do is push the buttons that day. They're there for our support, but they give us a radio station. We have 18 hours of some great DJs, including Debbie and her boss, Dave Marvin, from 4 to 5 Eastern time. Right?
And I want to thank Big Al. I have been watching the comments, and I feel for you, buddy. And thank you very much for that donation, and for my little baby Mikey. But yes, I would. It would make me so excited to have people give and donate. And oh, I wanted to say you can donate with it kind of earmarked. What do you say when you say like your
Designate. You can designate.
designate? So if there's a particular United Way funded agency, so if you really are moved by the Children Trauma Assessment Group or Dacis, you can designate your donation to go to that actual group. So whether it's a small donation or a large donation, anywhere in between, you can simply tell them when you donate, and they will make sure that it goes to that particular program. Also, Kelly, tell us how the donations can come in. Now, obviously, anybody who's in the area, we would love to have you stop by the radio station in person, right? And there's food, and there's the music, and there's things. What are the things that are going on in person?
We're having the golf cart raffle, Debbie, remember?
That's right. Wait, do we get to take the golf cart for test drives? Probably shouldn't. No, I'm not going to put any miles on it, guys, but you can come look at it. There is a very nice looking golf cart.
Michigan blue golf cart.
It's beautiful. Beautiful. If you're not a Michigan fan, then call it a different blue, but it's pretty. Beautiful. So we have the golf cart raffle.
Oh, yeah. Buy a raffle ticket. Even today, you could buy a raffle ticket for $40 or 3 for $100. You can do that on our Facebook page at St. Joseph County United Way. And you can buy them. There's a PayPal link. You can buy it right online. Anybody who
love the PayPal usage. I mean, my PayPal gets a workout, let me tell you. So
anybody who gives that day, their name will go into a hat. And at the end of the day, we will have big prizes that we will be giving away, like a gas grill. We've given away bicycles. We've given away TVs. Anybody who gives during the day, whatever the big prizes will be this year, we'll just pull names out of the box and we'll read them on air. And those are the people that will win those big prizes. So
okay, so that brings up a question though, because again, last year I did have people from California and Ohio and wherever. If they get chosen, what are we gonna do?
Well, we would contact them and we would
cross that bridge when we get there, right? I mean, I don't know.
Wanted us to ship it to them, we would make arrangements to do that. Or maybe it's road trip time in a golf cart, Debbie.
I feel like that's a good plan. I mean, I love a good road trip. I have to say, I went to walk out of the courtroom just the other day, and this lovely couple, Christy and Rick, they came walking in the courtroom, and Judge Milton and I were like, "Oh, what hearing are you guys here for?" "Oh, we're just here to watch." We're like, "Oh, shoot, we just ended for the day, going to lunch." And like, "Oh, we came from Oklahoma." I'm like, "What? Oklahoma?" And they just wanted to see Judge and I, and it was the sweetest thing ever. It's like a little wonderful couple, and she makes quilts while she watches and listens. And I mean, she really likes landlord tenant more so than anything, which I'm not a part of, so that's all Judge on that one. But they were the sweetest kind. We took a picture together. It was adorable. So her husband had grown up in the Mishawaka area, which I was born in Mishawaka, so Hoosier. Even my family lived in Michigan, but they drove down there and whatever. So we had a good chat about Mishawaka area and South Bend, and they were tickled to be able to meet with us. So, I mean, we have friends from all over. We have friends that are in the trucking business, right? We could just throw a grill on the back of their truck and
resources. We can make things happen. That's for
if anybody can make something happen, it's you and I. I mean, definitely.
We will get it done.
So, all right. Have we covered everything? I feel like we have. I mean, we try to not make these too long. It's been 34 minutes and it feels like it's only been like 2 minutes to me. So, I mean, honestly, you and I could talk for hours.
I told you at the start of this I could. I do
very much.
Have listening far away. You can designate, you can give money and designate to like the hospice in your own community. So you can designate to the United Way in your community. We receive just as much money in our county as we pay out. So
really,
Yeah, there's a lot of designations that come to us from places like maybe you're listening from California, but you really like Jeff and Debbie's work and you want some donations to go to them. You can designate to the agencies of their choice. But maybe you are live in California and your mom is in New York and she's received care of some kind and you want to pay it back. You can designate, you can send money to us, designate to the United Way of New York, and we can make sure that they get your contribution. You'll receive a letter that says that they've got your contribution, so you'll know that your money went where it was supposed to go.
Which is amazing. I guess how long have I been involved? Obviously I've not been on the board, so I don't get involved in all of it. But I didn't know that. I learned something new about United Way, I swear, every time that we do something like this. That is amazing.
Yeah.
And every dollar that comes in during my hour, I get closer to that cute little pewter microphone.
Right, right. Or even you can designate now. You can start sending in money now, and we can make sure that it goes toward Debbie's hour. You don't have to just do it. If you can't listen during that hour, I can hook you up with a PayPal link, Debbie, now, and you can get
I would totally put a PayPal link down here now because of all the people in the world, the people that pay attention to my nonsense that I put on here are super giving people. So, yeah, I see Unclean Hands popped in here. He has an amazing YouTube channel, Kelly. You would enjoy it. I don't know how much you get into the YouTube, but I have thoroughly enjoyed meeting the people that I've met on here. So, what do we need to do to donate for Debbie? Well, Kelly is going to get me a PayPal link, right? So it'll be a link that's specific to the hour for Dave and I, correct? So you can donate today, tomorrow, next week, whenever, but the totals get added up right before midnight on the 26th. Is that accurate? May 26th, 2022. Yep. This is on here forevermore, right? But yeah, if you can donate any amount. Oh, Unclean Hands is blushing. I mean, now you're gonna have to go check it out. I'm telling you, these are fun people that we deal with. So, what will Debbie get when we donate? Griggsy, you're gonna have to go back and watch from the beginning. But if our hour, well, our duo, I wouldn't even say our hour, right? So if Dave and I, by the 26th at midnight, raise the most money of the other celebrity DJs, we win a pewter microphone and bragging rights to say we raised X number of dollars for United Way. So, again, I'm just happy to be a part of it, even though I lose every year. But I try really hard. So some of the people I'm up against are from very large corporations, and they are able to finance things, and I'm happy for them. I truly am. Kelly, every year you do, what is it, a top 10 of the companies that donate? Is that accurate?
Yes. Yep.
And that is, though, at the end of your campaign year, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that won't be until a little bit later. But I mean, I'd really like to slay it at this one. I'm really trying this year. I told Dave, you better get on the ball, start making them calls. You find the people that are willing to give us $5, $10, $15, $1,500, whatever. The change you find in your couch. I'll take that even. Every little penny counts. So I at least want, is Tad on an hour this year?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. Well, if he is, I just want to beat him too, because that's our own personal grudge match on that one.
Yeah, I'll have to look.
And some of the people on here, they have mentioned TJ. So TJ and I used to have the hour together, but I feel like he was holding me back. So took a couple years off, came back with Dave, and we did better last year than I think I've ever done. So definitely thinking that this is my year to shine. So, and judging by the comments over here, I think I've got some backers. So it'll be nice. Well, anyway, go ahead.
I'll have a PayPal link for you on Monday.
Perfect. You heard it here first, guys. PayPal link coming up. So you work that second job all weekend and save your pennies for me. Well, it's not for me. It's for the community, right? So
you get the microphone.
Yeah, I mean, but I will share it. We could have a traveling microphone. So, I mean, if you stop in to visit at the courthouse, you can hold it and take pictures with it, things like that. So, and every little bit. So, Kelly, thank you so much for agreeing to do this on a Friday night. I'm sure you have other things to be doing, but I'm glad you're spending it with me for
Well,
a few minutes.
I didn't get to see who won Jeopardy, but that's okay. I can
Oh
Google.
gosh. But what more importantly, Tucker's home watching who gets drafted. Like
Oh,
what? He's like,
the
can you drop me
draft
home before you go? Yeah, buddy. He is so into the draft, and I'm happy for him that he enjoys it. Aiden Hutchinson going to the Lions, he's like over the moon. So, all right, guys. So, any last questions for Kelly? This is your chance. I bet I can probably twist her arm to get her on here again. And who knows, maybe I'll do a short little live stream. Like you do Facebook Lives from the Radioathon. So I'll be sure to, give everybody that backstage look at what we do and the goofy things that go on while we're there because it is really fun. So.
Sundays.
All right. Well, Kelly, again, thank you so much. I appreciate having you here, and hopefully we have you on again, okay?
Thanks for having me.
All right, take care. Well, there you go, guys. United Way, one of my favorite charities. I guess what I didn't cover too is United Way is very careful about the donations. So, like they said, like the allocation day, they keep an eye on where your money goes. And the fact that you can allocate it to any of your favorite charities through your own local United Way is amazing too. And I didn't realize that until today. So, you learn something new every day. But it's about that time for me to go home, snuggle the baby goats for a bit, and just relax on a Friday. So if you're watching this on another day, it's still a time to relax, right? You got to take care of yourself before you can take care of others. So again, thank you. If you are so inclined, I will get that PayPal link in here, hopefully Monday when Kelly gets it to me. And I will put a link for the WBET online so you can listen to the radio station during the Radioathon, which is Thursday, May 26, 2022. It's going to be all day. So if you want to listen all the time, you can, because sometimes we do talk smack about each other during the hours. And so it is kind of a good time for all. And then Dave Marvin and I are going to be on from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern time. Again, you don't have to donate during the 4 to 5 hour. You can donate anytime and just say, hey, this is for Debbie Davis, Dave Marvin, whatever. You can also call in during that hour, and they will give you a chance to get us messages or ask for a song or just make fun of us. I'm willing to be roasted to get money for the United Way. So again, thank you everybody for all of your donations. I'll get to the comments as soon as I can, and I'll see you guys next time.